Hello all, and welcome to this video where we will be starting with the domain 2 of CISSP, which deals with assets security. The exam weightage for this domain is round about 10%. So in terms of the weightage to the marks, this domain contributes around 10% to your final score. This is a short domain compared to other domains of CISSP, but the concepts that are described here are important in terms of that they form the founding structure for many discussions that will follow in the other domain. And a part of it is we have already seen in domain 1, which covers security and risk management. So what we're going to cover here in this particular domain is about the information lifecycle, which is also sometimes used parallelly in terms of data management lifecycle. We will also deal with information and asset classification, and they tend to go hand in hand because an asset which holds the information goes with the same classification as what the information being held. We will talk about the privacy, we will talk about the data retention, and we will talk about the data security controls also in terms of how we handle the data. So this is all part of the information slash data management life cycle that we will see in great detail in this series. To begin with, just to get the grip of what to follow, we will start with what we called as an asset. Now, you may ask yourself a question: what is an asset? To a much broader level, an asset represents anything which is needed to run your business, organization, and also that creates value while you do run or proceed with your organization. Important to understand that this particular domain, the asset, is mostly dealt with what you call what we know as the technological asset and not the physical asset, though physical assets are no less important than technological, but the coverage in this domain is dominantly about technological asset. The physical part or the physical assets and the related security is something we will see in the next domain, domain 3. So in a very nutshell, an asset is something that your business or organization need, and it's something that adds value for your organization or business needs. Now, before we get into trying to find what value an asset adds, it is important that you have a comprehensive overview of your assets. It could be that your business is located and being operated in different diverse location across the world. It may be very difficult to have an overview of all the asset that that your business or organization may have. Therefore, asset inventory in that particular aspect plays a very important role. An asset inventory is centralized repository of assets, and not just the repository, it also holds a kind of a relative asset value that your particular asset has needing for your business or organization. And it is important to maintain this asset inventory, and you can use various technical, non-technical means. For example, configuration management database to hold your technical asset, the number of servers, the number of proxy servers, for example, that your business is using. But in the core nutshell, it is a consolidated overview of what is that you have that you think is adding value to your business. Therefore, maintaining and making an asset inventory, but also maintaining it over time is an equally important task. Now, once you have a comprehensive asset inventory, a typical question that a very crucial question rather that you can ask yourself is every asset valuable? Because the answer to this question also determines the next step that you're gonna take, that we also gonna discuss about the asset security, information and data security. And to that effect, this question becomes very, very relevant, that based on the valuability of the asset that it creates for your business or organization, you may have different kind of information on data security controls that is applicable. Do remember that any data security information or data security control that you may have entails cost. Therefore, the asset being valuable to you and applying appropriate controls to protect that asset also cost money to organization. So pay great attention to this question. Uh, it may be a very small question, but it has a much wider impact that follows later on. So with that said, I'll stop here. I hope you got the gist and a good intro to this domain and what to follow. I hope to see you in the next video, and thanks for listening.